Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I'm delighted to be here sharing my story and further building a connection and relationship with you all. It touches my heart. I joined Toastmasters because I have what I will call a-itis and ADHD. It's not a good combination. My brain runs a sprint while my mouth meanders through the garden and more often than I would like, trips on a rock and then stumbles out aloud, My goal is for my brain, mind, heart, and mouth to promenade hand in hand down the center aisle with words effortlessly flowing and public speeches engaging and empowering. As it is, I often speak publicly in one of my many servant or community leader roles, be it as the board chair for the Housing Resource Center of Monterey County, or as a Marina City Council member, or board member of the Democratic Women of Monterey County, or as founder and co-president of Women in International Security's U.S. West Coast chapter, or WISE West, or a few other roles that I wear, hats I wear. Now, public speaking has shown up most recently in my new role as faculty at UC Santa Cruz Crown College, where my focus is on the intersection of technology and ethics and how it impacts society and governance. Through this role, I am also the co-founder and co-director of the Center for Applied Values and Ethics in Advancing Technologies, or CAVIA. So as you can see, I have a lot of public speaking roles. But this brings us to today's icebreaker: three continents, an exploration of healing, love, care, compassion, and grief. Now, the title may sound like a sequel to the film Eat, Pray, Love, but it's not. It's in fact the story of my life. I began my healing journey while living in North America, Connecticut and New York to be exact. At that time, I was just a child, but was somehow acutely aware that we have the power to heal ourselves through touch, and that love, care, and compassion are balms for the soul, enabling us to achieve things we only dream about. Later in life, when I was burned out from my environmental science and economics degree and working in international banking, I was walking home from work with tears of exhaustion just streaming down my face. I was begging God for another way, begging for a better life, just begging. Then, through my blurry eyes, I saw a torn paper flyer on a signpost. It asked, "Are you tired? Burned out? Do you have too much stress? Are you sick and miserable?" I could answer yes to all of them, and then I saw at the bottom of the page, "Learn Reiki, a Tibetan hands-on healing practice, this weekend." 3 months later, I was no longer in banking and was becoming a full-time healer, massage therapist, and meditation teacher. My expertise was working with people with cancer and HIV/AIDS. This work brought me to Sweden, where I worked with healers who bridged the mystic and the scientific. I fell in love with the man who wore rainbow suspenders like those worn by Mork from Ork, only today they would be repurposed to symbolize LGBTQ plus pride. Sadly, the distance could not hold our love. I remained in New York, and years later I fell in love with a woman whose work, buying and selling European bank debt, brought me back to finance and brought us to Europe. Intuition landed us in a beautiful apartment in Piazza del Popolo, the center of Rome. Dressing like Zsa Zsa Gabor, sipping espresso, as beautiful people walked by kissing the air and shouting "Ciao, amore," was not me. Nor were the exquisite shoes which hugged people whose values were different than mine. But then I found horses. A new career path was born as I worked with members of the Italian Olympic equestrian team, teaching them nonviolent communication and training practices and doing equestrian massage and healing. 4 years later, however, I left my practice because I was feeling a greater call. An inner voice asked, "Can we apply the holistic model of an individual healing from cancer and HIV/AIDS to the healing of society with all isms, terrorism, sexism, racism, etc., being the cancer HIV/AIDS of society?" I needed to explore this question. I needed to be of service to help people and communities heal. I soon found myself on the continent of Asia, in Israel, where I lived and worked for 9 years. My questions were put into practice, building community between Israelis and Palestinians, but that's a story for another day. Eventually, I needed to apply my practice to the academic realm. I returned home to North America and earned my master's degree in international policy studies, focusing on counterterrorism and transitional justice from MIS. It was followed by both an MA and PhD in leadership and change from Antioch University. And this is the part that's rather ironic, as leadership and change have been consistent themes in my life as I've navigated stories and experiences of love, care, compassion, and grief on multiple continents. But now, let me return to today. Let me return to right now with you at NPS Toastmasters, healing my itis and working with my ADHD so that I may be of better service to Earth and humanity. It has been my great honor to share today, and I thank all of you for your time and attention. And now, back to you, Madam Toastmaster.